Hi, I'm Allie with Geek Inked magazine, and we're here speaking with Richard Hatch of Battlestar Galactica. He played Captain Apollo in the original series and Tom Zarek in the newer incarnation. What was it like to play such a different role in the newer series?
Well, people forget that there was 35 years between Captain Apollo and Tom Zarek, but, 35 years of living life and being in an industry where the ups and downs are pretty dramatic, and having to deal with, fame, and then deal with not being able to get a job, and then deal with getting a job again, and dealing with the pressures and demands and expectations of trying to really reestablish yourself. All that stuff, I think, kind of gave me this insight into people, life, politics. I'm very involved in government and how it works and all the things that piss you off about things that honestly should be common sense, and somehow common sense is not followed. People always talk about how they analyze life logically, and yet they live life illogically. Well, all of that kind of went into Tom Zarek. And Tom Zarek, for me, was a political idealist, wounded idealist who suffered 25 years of prison, for standing up against tyranny and suppression and dictatorship, and then he ends up being on the Battlestar ragtag fleet, and in a post 9/11 circumstance where, again, democracy gets pushed to the side, and good people end up doing bad things for so-called good reasons. And here's a guy that really has lost faith in government, lost faith in the powers that be, and challenges to make those people accountable, and again is looked at as the bad guy because he's standing up against, right, the people who run the show. And through history, I always tell people, and I don't look at Tom Zarek as being Braveheart, but Braveheart was looked at as the bad guy, right, by the English, because he challenged England. How dare you challenge us? And I think Tom Zarek, for me, was the guy that really challenged the existing government. But again, once you move past good guy, bad guy, and you realize that in 9/11 post-apocalyptic type of circumstances, good people, no matter who you are capable of doing some extraordinarily bad things, sometimes for good reasons. But we lose our sensibility, we lose our sense of what is right and wrong, and sometimes we get caught up in the moment, and we find ourselves sometimes running away and being the coward, sometimes being the manipulator and doing some very bad things, trying to do maybe what you think is a good thing, thinking that the bad thing justifies the good thing. We're all capable of extraordinary things, being the hero in one moment, and the next moment being the coward, and having to live with both sides of the equation. And I think Battlestar kind of really embraced all of that. And Tom Zarek, truly, like all the characters in Battlestar, was a morally conflicted character that was struggling with his dark side. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
On that note, how did it feel to learn that the UN was interested in the show?
Well, I think, Battlestar was more than just entertainment. Battlestar was about something. It mirrored the world. It reflected what was going on in the world, politically, sociologically, on multiple levels. And it had something for everybody. Again, it was post 9/11. It was dealing with the tragedy of that. And again, those kinds of tragedies bring out the best and the worst in people, brings out the hero, brings out the coward, brings out all different sides of the equation. And everybody could find something, a character, a story, a plot line to relate to in Battlestar. Time magazine called it the #1 best drama on TV, period. It went well beyond sci-fi. It was real people in a terrible post-apocalyptic circumstance, struggling to survive, making life and death decisions every day. And again, I think everybody could kind of, especially in this world where we don't quite know where we're going, and it's getting a little scary for people, and people in their own way are all thinking about Armageddon and the end of the world, and will we survive into the next millennium? And I think a lot of people are already there's a lot of movies out there and TV series dealing with post-apocalyptic circumstances, right? So whether it's The Walking Dead or whether it's this or that, doesn't matter. Many, many series are exploring that thought, that idea, that concept. So I think because of that, people, I mean, really found something in Battlestar that I think was not only did it relate to them and their current circumstance, they could get an insight, kind of a window into their own circumstance through watching Battlestar, but they could also get inspired by realizing that even in the worst of times, the most scary of times, horrific times, that there's light, there's hope, and that we human beings are capable of achieving extraordinary things in our lives when we're pushed to the limit. And I think they all found something in that Battlestar series. I think that kind of, again, sometimes the greatest light is found in the greatest darkness. And Battlestar was a truly dark show, but there was incredible moments of great insight and inspiration and hope. I think that was woven through the fabric of Battlestar.
We are a tattoo magazine, so I will have to ask you, do you have any tattoos? And if not, how do you feel when you see people with Battlestar tattoos?
Well, first of all, I have to be honest, I love tattoos. I really do. I think tattoos are so cool. But the second part of that equation is I don't like pain. Let me tell you, getting a facial is painful to me. I can't even imagine some of these tattoos that people get and having that experience. I don't know how they got through it. I mean, seriously, and I kept telling people, I go, can you put me to sleep? Is there a drug I can take? Is there a painkiller I can take? What can you do? No. The ritual, of getting a tattoo is part of what's the word? The rite of passage. Getting a tattoo that really you don't do all that stuff. I think if you could put me out, I would go and do a tattoo. Of course, I'd have to really know who's putting that tattoo on, because the worst thought would be getting a tattoo that I don't really want, or one that's not really done well. But I would like to get a tattoo. It's just a question of where, when, and how. But I do think tattoos are cool.
Very awesome. Would you tell us a little...
Symbolically, by the way, I love the eagle wing that Katie Sackhoff, Starbuck had. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Awesome. Would you tell us a little bit about your upcoming projects, such as After Hell and Star Trek Axanar?
Oh, yeah. So web series, first of all, are becoming really quite well done, well acted, well written. And I just did one a couple days ago that I actually did a really, really wonderful role in. And then they're going to do this new Star Trek movie, fan movie, but it's a high-end. They've got all professionals doing it. They have an incredible director, writer, some wonderful, wonderful actors in it. It's going to be one of the best, I think, probably Star Trek fan films ever done. And again, like I said, it's being done in a totally professional way. These fan films have really, really grown from their inception when they began years ago and were made for $10,000, $15,000. Some of them are now being made for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Right, a lot of money is being put into these films. So I'm going to play a Klingon general. I can't wait actually to do that. I've always looked at, Battlestar warriors and Klingons are warriors. And so we kind of all had that warrior spirit. And I always loved the Klingons. So I'm looking forward to playing this Klingon general in there. And I get to work with some really, really good actors. Michael Hogan that played Ty in the new Battlestar is going to be in it. And several other actors that you'll find. You can actually go online and put in XNAR and check it out, and you'll see the entire cast that they're putting together. But I can't wait to do that. I'm doing this new web series called After Hell with Dirk Benedict. We've never worked together in 35 years. It'll be the first time that we've had a chance to do something, and it's, again, a post-apocalyptic type of world universe, and we're going to do, I guess, this pilot episode for them. They're using some revolutionary new technologies and cameras and equipment. Shoots in Austria in March, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm putting together my own web series, which is going to launch this new novel called Guam, Great War Magellan, which is this new big space epic dealing with a space mariner who is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. And it really follows his journey through the Magellanic Cloud. And he's been on Earth for 800 years, written a popular series of sci-fi books that turn out to be true. Anyway, I'm putting that together right now. All the space shows have been taken off the air. Some of the best shows, I think, ever made. do not fit the network model, and so I want to find a new way to develop a show that you can actually put out there, let the audience find it, and let the audience make the decision on whether that show succeeds or fails, instead of some executive in a boardroom who may not have a clue about sci-fi or what people that love sci-fi like, right? So I just thought this is a new marketplace, a new world, new business models, new ways of funding, filming, and distributing your film. And we're moving out of the old pipeline that was controlled by the networks and studios. And the networks and studios will be inspired to do better programming, because they're going to have to compete with a lot of really creative, talented people out there. They're going to be penetrating the marketplace with their own new story, idea, concepts.
Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. This is Ali with Geek Inked magazine, and stay tuned for more coverage of HalCon 2013.
So say we all.
They were once known as angels from the sky of heaven.